There is a nightmare more terrifying than any other. A nightmare that has haunted thousands of people all over the world. A presence comes into the room, paralyzes its victim, then leaps on their body and assaults them. Sometimes it's a shadowy figure, sometimes an old hag, sometimes a demon. But whatever shape it takes, the entity, as it is often called, has concrete effects, leaving its victims battered and exhausted, their lives in pieces. Sufferers are sure that when they see it, they are awake, and it is real. Science, psychology, and religion have all grappled with this phenomenon. Can any explain the mystery?
So I was looking for beliefs about which people would say, we believe these things because we have experienced them. One of the first traditions I encountered in Newfoundland that was true of was the old hag. About a quarter of those who said it had happened to them said they had not heard of it happening to anyone else, they didn't know a name for it, and they couldn't define the old hag accurately. It makes you have to ask, well, where are these experiences coming from? If they're not coming from culture, where are they coming from?
It's not something out there that's causing this. It's just part of the physiology of that state.
It stands alone in the pantheon of sleep disorders or sleep phenomena. There's something uniquely horrifying about it.
Initially, it's almost inevitably viewed as threatening evil in nature.
This is absolute, abject terror, and people will often go on and try to somehow find just the right words to convince you and give you a sense of just how terrified. More terrifying than anything I have experienced in real life.
It appears to have started in the south of Pemba and then spread from village to village. So they'd be asleep in bed. For whatever reason, they'd wake up, they'd be awoken, and they'd be faced with some sort of entity.
They call this the sudden, unexpected nocturnal death syndrome. There was no clear cause of death. The people went to sleep apparently healthy, and at some point in the night, and it was always the night, died.
So I saw her walk into the room, and like I said, I was lying on my stomach, and she reached down and she grabbed my ankle.
Crawls up the wall onto the ceiling, and then lowers itself down over me, upside down.
The image, if I did see that, this old woman, she'd just be this old haggard woman with gray hair and long nails. And
she got herself all curled up, and then she stretched herself right out on the bed next to me on her stomach.
And I was kind of sunk into the bed. It was just crazy. And I just look to the left and the right, and I look up, and the face is still there.
It feels like it's thirsty. It's drinking something from me.
Being completely aware of feeling like I was awake, but looking at my hand and not being able to move my hand.
It turns its head around, and it looks me right in the face, and it starts to breathe in my ear.
I was so scared, knowing that there was this thing next to me, and I was thinking, like, I can't even imagine how horrible this thing or this creature is if I turn around.
And literally about a year later, I actually sold the house.
There's not many fears I have in life about a lot of things, and things I saw when I was a kid that I never thought I'd see again, and I hoped and prayed I didn't, was this shadowhead guy. And as a kid, I lived in this log cabin in the mountains, and I closed my door at night, and I had this full-length mirror that was really cool, and it was old. And I'd lay there in bed and I'd just kind of stare at it and be amused by it. And one night, in the middle of the night, I saw this figure that was gleaming from this mirror, and it was dark and scary and foreboding and evil almost. And it was this shadow hat guy. And I thought, okay, no, I must be dreaming. I gotta be dreaming. So I closed my eyes and I tried to wish it away, and I opened them again, and it was there. It was like, I couldn't believe it. I didn't understand it. And okay, well, I got to do something, you know, and I pulled the covers over my head and I hunkered down with my cat, and I pulled the covers back and it was still there, and it felt like he was coming for me, like he was reaching. And I remember like, oh my God. And I closed my eyes and then he was gone. And I didn't see him again for the longest time. And then again, this ominous man, this freaky shadow out of the corner of my eye when I was riding my horse. And I thought, no way, it's during the daytime. It can't be like that. And I rode around and I rode around and I just started shaking and I felt tears in my eyes. And I just was like, this is not real, this is not real. And I just thought, okay, well, I'm having a bad dream again, but I'm riding a horse, but I'm having a bad dream. And I slowed him down and I stopped and I turned and I could have sworn I saw him again, and then he was gone. And I had always thought that moment in my life I could put away, because fear carried with me for so long. And just when I thought it was safe, I let it go. And boom, that guy was there again. I don't know what else to say, and I don't know who's listening, but I had to tell somebody. I have to let people know that guy is out there. He really is out there.
Now, this very eerie and creepy footage comes from Lemp Mansion. So let's have a look at the footage. I have removed the audio because it doesn't really pertain to the video itself. So let's look at the footage and we'll talk about it afterwards. So as we can see, she's in the mansion, she's panning around the room to get a feel of what's in the room. And we see this black figure as she's panning around. But then she does a quick pan back and the figure's gone. Whoa. This footage was caught sometime in 2011, but it's just been recently uploaded. And it was caught on a very old cellular phone. Now this to me adds more weight to the footage, because there's no manipulation with these phones. You can't even take the footage off of this phone to email it. So this is why it's being filmed from a phone to a camera. So I believe that what has been caught here is the elusive and infamous Hatman from the Shadow People. And you can see this thing is very there, and it's there for a short while. I 100% believe that this is a very credible sighting, it's genuine, and furthermore, I believe that this validates every person that has seen this Hatman. So I'm going to leave you with some enhanced footage of this being, entity, for you guys to make of it what you will. So until next time, stay blessed, and most importantly, stay safe.
Verga.
For many who suffer from nocturnal assaults, their testimony is evidence of an experience that is still not fully understood.
I've seen lots of different explanations offered as the scientific explanation of this. In general, and in fact all of them that I know of, do not fit the data of the experience well. Now maybe someday people will be able to get to the point where they really do fit well, but I do think that it's not fair to people's experience and people's understanding of this sort of thing to take a loose, sloppy, hypothetical scientific explanation and figure, well, at least it's scientific, we ought to accept it. No, that's not right. It ought to really account for what needs to be accounted for. None of them do yet. Good luck, everybody. Keep working on it, but let's not claim that it's been done.
Whether or not science will one day offer a full explanation for these nocturnal attacks is unclear. What is clear is that those who suffer will continue to live in fear of what lurks on the other side.